You are entering a dimension unlike any you've ever experienced. A dimension of sight, a dimension of sound, a dimension of smell, a dimension of taste, a dimension of something else. It lies at the summit of man's fears and in the pit of the stuff he's really, really afraid of. This is the Twilight Zone. Picture, if you will, a small studio in the urban suburb of Kissimmee, Florida. Here we meet two characters, Surfer Clock and Tap G. These two will unwittingly take a day trip into the Twilight Zone. Hello, I'm Surfer Clock.
And I'm Tap G.
And welcome to What's the Attraction,
where our work is your vacation.
This is it, folks. The Big Kahuna. One of Walt Disney World's biggest adrenaline thumpers. The one ride everybody loves and yet fears even more.
We've gotten email after email after email after email to do this one attraction. So we had no choice. We originally thought you fans and subscribers loved it so much that you sent us all those requests. Then we discovered it was the same person using a different email address over and over. So without further ado, the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. This attraction... Hey guys!
Hey!
Let me guess. You're Tower Girl.
Uh-huh. I just happened to be in the neighborhood when all of a sudden I happened to overhear two of my favorite online theme park critics say Twilight and Zone and Tower and Of and Terror. So I figured I'd stop by and say, what's the attraction?
You are on your meds, right?
Some of them. And by the way, you guys really need to hire some security people. There's crazy people out there.
Noted. So, did you have any input for us for today's episode while we're live?
Nope. I'm good. I just wanted to see how you guys do it.
Okay.
Seriously, pretend I'm not even here.
Okay. So, Tower of Terror.
Sort of an embellished version of those drop tower rides you see at carnivals and other parks. Disney opened this ride in Disney MGM Studios, now Hollywood Studios, in 1994.
July 22nd.
Yes, July 22nd, 1994. And adrenaline junkies have been taking the plunge ever since.
There's a story behind this attraction. It's a dark, gruesome, morbid tale fit only for an episode of The Twilight Zone. That was weird. Anywho, the ride concerns the fate of the renowned Hollywood Tower Hotel, once the most elite of glitz and glamour hotels. One dark and ethereal Halloween night in 1939, a thunderstorm of supernatural proportions enveloped the edifice. A young Hollywood couple, accompanied by their daughter, her nanny, and the bellhop, all stepped into the elegant elevator. With one push of a button, they sealed their fate with their destination to the Twilight Zone.
Where is that coming from?
I have no idea, but that is so cool!
All of a sudden, a bolt of lightning struck the Hollywood Tower Hotel, zapping away the entire wing of the building into thin air. The 5 people in the elevator were electrocuted, disappearing mysteriously, leaving the elevator to plummet into the unknown depths of the Twilight Zone.
Ooh.
What are you doing? Are you flicking on and off the lights?
Just trying to make it seem all creepy and stuff.
You do know nobody can see us, right?
Yeah, and...
Never mind. So 55 years later, the Hollywood Tower Hotel had reopened its creepy, creaky wrought iron gates. Everything in the lobby is untouched and dust-laden since the night of the storm. The bellhops have no recollection of the unnatural passage of time. Where has everything and everyone been? Why for so long? And why did they pop up, of all places, in Central Florida? We all have our suspicions.
Atlantis,
Bermuda Triangle,
Bigfoot,
North Pole,
Loch Ness,
Mars,
Machu Picchu,
Nebraska.
But most tend to say they've been stuck in the Nope, not gonna say it. I'll just say the 5th dimension.
The Twilight Zone.
Really, Tower Girl?
Sorry, I had to hear it again.
Once you enter the hotel lobby amid the dust and antiques, a bellhop brings you to the hotel library where a TV suddenly comes alive and tells you the sordid tale we shared with you. It's done in Rod Serling's Twilight Zone episode fashion, getting the chills in early. Rod wishes you luck as you step into the hotel's boiler room, where the maintenance service elevator remains operational, though not exactly in its most stable condition. You are then guided to your seat, where you buckle in, and up you go.
After you rise a few stories, the doors part to show the lost family from the elevator, now ghosts, forlorn to see more unfortunate hotel guests coming to join them in their plight. Those guests are you.
It's raining. You guys are funny.
The spider, big,
sorry,
like,
very
big,
big old man
big as my
story.
fist. The doors close, and a few floors later, you found it. The fifth dimension itself. Your elevator coasts out of its shaft and into a creepy starfield, complete with shattering windows, backwards clocks, and a really unnerving eyeball. You then arrive in a second elevator shaft where the ride's thrills kick it into fifth gear.
Rise quickly. Drop down. The elevator controls your fate. Do you survive? Well, let's just say if you didn't, the ride's gift shop will probably be doing terrible business.
Most guests hit it up for the thrilling drops and falls, but let's be honest with ourselves. The level of detail of the Tower of Terror is immaculate. There's tiny little nods to various Twilight Zone episodes. One of my personal favorites is the book To Serve Man in the library from the namesake episode.
Rod Serling has been dead since the 70s. Some of his dialogue was used from the episode It's a Good Life, while everything else was done by impressionist Mark Silverman. Pretty good, huh? Can't even tell the difference.
In 1997, the weekly Wonderful World of Disney TV show aired a full-length movie about the legend, sans the Twilight Zone tie-ins. We're actually lucky enough to have a copy right here, complete with a sticky note that says, to what's the attraction from your biggest fan, Tower Girl XOXO.
I sent it in. That was me.
Yeah, see, the thing is, we kind of have a lousy track record with attraction/movie tie-ins. So we're just going to skip this, okay? I mean, it has Steve Guttenberg in it. Have you seen him act? Or lack thereof.
And not to mention, this was a TV movie. That's why they send movies when they're not even good enough to be direct-to-video sequels.
Oh, suck it up, you pansies. Come on, I'll put it on for you.
No. Help me, Silver Clock. I can't do it anymore.
Tap G's gonna feed a woman. Show some mercy.
And play.
Looks like them critic boys is about to learn the power of terror. It was good?
Wow, I can't believe it. Suspense, intrigue, mystery, twists, decent writing, interesting characters, and a good story?
I told ya.
Okay, so in complete defiance and tradition from terrible movies based on attractions, this movie is actually recommended as an underrated classic by Tapchi and Surfer Clock.
And Tower Girl.
Yes, and Tower Girl.
You're welcome. Hey, did you know that the bellhop costumes for the cast members are the most expensive theme park costumes in the world?
No, but I do know until 2005, the Hollywood Tower Hotel was the tallest Walt Disney World attraction at 199 feet, until Expedition Everest surpassed them by 6 inches.
The FAA states that any building 200 feet or taller need airplane warning lights. Since they're out of character for a 1930s hotel, Disney stopped short by 1 foot.
Additional Towers of Terror opened in Disney's California Adventure in 2004, Tokyo Disney Sea in 2006, and Walt Disney Studios Park in France in 2007.
But what makes Florida special is the randomized drop sequences.
Randomized?
Yeah, in the first 3 versions of the ride, it was always the same. Then Disney Imagineers realized something. They could reprogram the ride to randomize the rise and drop sequences. This way, it would be a different experience every time you ride it.
Alrighty, I think we've discussed all the important stuff. Time to rate and discuss.
Honestly, again, I'm in the same ballpark as I was with Dinosaur.
Oh yes, just last week we were talking about how, you don't find screaming and thrills as a form of entertainment.
I don't, and I don't find how falling is fun or entertaining. You're not going to catch me skydiving anytime soon.
Let's be clear about this. This is a drop tower attraction. There's really no hiding that fact.
No.
You go up, you go down, and back up again. But what makes this unique is that it has a very intricately well-crafted theme and a fantastic story.
I will say this much. I do love the old Twilight Zone episodes.
Of course.
They're not scary, they're suspenseful, and they're surprising. And that's what makes them interesting. They're great stories with great turnarounds. And, I mean, just some of my favorite episodes. 5 Characters in Search of an Exit, Stop at Willoughby, The Howling Man. Those are great episodes because they have such a suspense. They keep you guessing. And they utilize that to the greatest extent in this attraction.
That they do. The theming here is immaculate. We're talking best in industry theming.
Absolutely.
With the bellhops and all the different little nods to the Twilight Zone, as you said. It's I have yet to see an attraction that has really themed as well.
Right. Even the exterior, just from the dingy brown pink color, the aged statues in the garden, the dust in the half-finished mahjong game in the lobby. I mean, there's just so much there that you could spend hours and still not find everything.
Most folks care more about the ride itself, though. I mean, never mind all the, stuff in the interior of the queue. Let's talk about the ride. And that randomized drop sequence that Tower Girl mentioned, huge impact for its re-rideability.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's never the same fear twice. They said it in the commercials.
Exactly.
The effects with the elevator passengers appearing, which we have found out is a Pepper's ghost. The same effect they use in the Haunted Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good. It's really surprising. Even if you have seen it before in the Haunted Mansion, it feels somehow even more real when you're in the Twilight Zone.
Probably because this is, in Haunted Mansion, it's meant to be as kind of this cute little, oh, there's ghosts in the ballroom.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it's meant to, look, there's ghosts actually there. Aren't they scary? And it is kind of spooky.
And just the whole overall story. It's strong for what this attraction basically is. A drop tower.
It's one of the best backstories of any attraction I've ever ridden.
Seriously. But I will say one thing, even if we, have to say it again. The forces on this ride are intense.
Oh, yeah.
Rider discretion is strongly advised from this guy. I mean, I'm a bit of a bigger person. You know that.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I was going to make it off this one.
They do say that when the elevator falls down, it does actually fall faster than the speed of gravity.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah. So let's just say those safety belts are there for a reason.
Most definitely.
This is not for the faint of heart. This is not for people who think that this is going to be a nice, quiet, jolly, haunted house sort of a thing.
Absolutely not.
This is meant to scare you. I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 5. Not that I find any real fault with it. I just think that I'm not a huge fan of the ride. I'm not a fan of dropping down. But it is a very, very good attraction.
You know what? I'm actually also going to go with a 3.5 out of 5. So that's a 3.5 out of 5 from Surfer Clock and a 3.5 out of 5 from Tap G. Well, it's clearly not for everybody. Some like the thrills and others may not.
Like us.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is the boring part of the reviews. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to watch the movie again.
So, Surfer Clock, what are the restrictions?
You need to be at least 40 inches or 102 centimeters tall to ride. Those in wheelchairs will need to transfer into the elevator seat, but those in electric convenience vehicles will need to transfer to a wheelchair, then into the elevator. It's frustrating, but the ride system is unable to accommodate wheelchairs or electric convenience vehicles in the elevators.
Closed captioning is available for the hearing impaired. Also, due to the intense nature of the ride, do not ride it if you have high blood pressure, heart, back, or neck problems, or motion sickness. Service animals are not permitted, and expectant mothers are strongly discouraged.
And as always, respect the 7-14 policy at Disney. At least 7 to go alone, and supervisor for those 6 and under must be at least 14. Rider swap is available for groups with kids. This means, for example, if Mom, Dad, and little Jimmy wait to ride, and Jimmy's too small to go, Mom can go while Dad watches Jimmy, then Mom can watch Jimmy while Dad rides without having to wait in line again. And if anyone in your party has a change of heart at the last second, a chicken exit is provided, get this, as an elevator. Anyone else see anything uncomfortably awkward about that?
I do. This ride is absolutely for thrill seekers. I mean, if you enjoy free fall with sporadic rises mixed in, this is for you.
Thrill seekers like our new friend Tower Girl. Tower Girl? Where'd she go? Did she say she was watching the movie again?
Tower Girl? Tower Girl? Tower Girl? Hello?
Hello? Guys? Can anyone hear me?
What the? How did you get trapped inside the TV?
I think it had to do with watching it a second time. It caused a temporal shift anomaly.
What'd she say?
She said blibbity blah science jargon.
Oh, makes sense. Common knowledge.
Can you guys give me out? There's no running room and it reeks of fungus and burnt rubber.
Hang on, Tower Girl. We're coming for you. Surfer Clock, can you reverse the polarity of the flux capacitor with a downgraded input recharge?
Maybe. If we're careful with the auxiliary generator, we just might pull it off. Or we could tear the fabric of space and time asunder.
It's worth a shot then, Surfer Clock. Let's do the jargon I said a moment ago because I forgot it already.
Tower Girl, you out?
Nope. No go. I guess I'm stuck here.
So it seems as though our two critic boys have made a new friend, but also gained another possessed appliance. There's so much bizarre junk in reality that it's hard to discern from fiction, kinda like what happened here today. So remember me, Surfer Clock and Tap G, and thanks for listening to What's the Attraction, where our work is your vacation. So comment us soon, or you just may end up a permanent resident of the Twilight Zone.